Your first step is opening up command prompt, and you can access this by going over to the start menu and typing in CMD. Now we're going to get your IP address and your DNS servers. So in order to find your IP address, you can type in ipconfig, and the vertical line, which is between the backspace and enter keys, type in find, open up double quotes, and type in IPv4. This will give you your IP address that you're connected to your router with. You want to go ahead and write this down. Next, we're going to find your DNS server. Now, what the DNS server is it connects you to your internet service provider's network. So what you want to type in is ipconfig/all, vertical line, find, open up your double quotes, and type in DNS server. Okay? And I'm not going to hit enter because I don't want you guys to see what my DNS server is, but it'll give you another group of numbers, and go ahead and write both of them groups down because we'll be needing that in the future. So go ahead and close out of that. Now we need to enable two settings to allow remote devices to connect to your computer. So what you want to do is go down to the start menu, right click computer, go ahead and hit properties. Scroll down to where you see change settings, click on the remote tab, and you want to make sure this box is checked, and you want to make sure this radio button is checked, allow connections from computers running any version of remote desktop. This will automatically add a Windows firewall entry exception. So you want to hit apply and hit OK, and you can go ahead and close out of this. Next, we're going to set up so our computer connects to our router under the same IP address every time. Most computers, unless you've set otherwise, connect to an IP address just randomly. It automatically generates one, so we're going to set it so it grabs the same exact one every single time for this all to work. So what you want to do is you want to right click your wireless or your local area network connection, go to Open Network and Sharing Center. You can also access this through the control panel. So you want to click on Connections and go down to where you see Properties, find where it says IPv4, click that, and then click Properties, and make sure both of these radio buttons are checked, and go ahead and enter in your IP address. Yours may be different, and then for the subnet mask, 9 times out of 10 it'll be 255.255.255.0, so go ahead and fill that in. And your default gateway, just put in 192.168.1.1. Now I am assuming that you guys have a Linksys router, so if you don't have a Linksys router, just look on the internet to find what the default subnet masks and default gateways are. You also want to use the following DNS server addresses and that DNS server number group that you got earlier from the command prompt. Go ahead and fill it in right here. So once you're done, go ahead and click OK and click close. Click close again and close out of Network and Sharing Center. Open up your internet browser, and if you have a Linksys router, you want to go to 192.168.1.1. This is accessing the router through your internet. Now you're going to have to log in with a username and password, so if you have not set a username and password for your router, try typing in admin for the username and admin for the password, or sometimes you can just type in admin for the password and then hit enter, no username, or admin for the username and no password. So just play around with that. So once you get in here, you want to go down to where you see applications and gaming. You want to click that tab, and then you want to click on the tab that says port range forwarding. Next, you just want to give this a name. I called mine remote desktop so I know what it is later, but it does not matter what you choose here. For the ports, type in 3389, 3389. For protocol, you want to make sure TCP and UDP are both activated, and then you want to type in the IP address that you got from command prompt earlier. Type in the last 3 digits here, and then you want to enable it. Make sure you scroll down to the bottom and save your settings. One last step, what you want to do is type in whatsmyip.org, and it's going to give you your public IP address. The 192.168.1.100 or whatever your number is, IP address was, that's your private IP address that you're connected to your router with. This is your public IP address that is available to the world, hence public. So what you want to do is you want to write this down, because this is the IP address we're going to use to type in on our phones to connect to. Basically, when we type in this IP address in our phones or other devices to connect to, it'll go to our router and it'll look to see what port range forwarding entries we've made, and the router will forward the remote desktop connection to the IP address that we listed on the router, which is the one that we're trying to connect to our computer. So without the port range forwarding that we did in the last step, there would be a dead end, and there would be no way of knowing which device to connect to, especially if you have multiple devices connected to your router. Okay, now that the hard part is over with, you want to go over to your phone and launch the Google Play Store, and go ahead and search for Remote Desktop. Now this first link that comes up, the 2x Client RDP, go ahead and install that, and I've already installed that, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Okay, and I already have settings for my laptop, but we're going to go to Menu, and we're going to Add, and we're going to choose RDP Connection Remote Desktop Protocol. And for alias, this is just a name you want it to display as, so I called mine laptop. I'm not going to fill out the settings again since I already have them. But for server, you're going to put in your IP address that you got from going to whatsmyip.org, not the 192.168.1. whatever, but the actual public IP address. Port, that'll fill it in for you, 3389. In case it's not 3389, go ahead and just fill that in. And for username, this is going to be your computer username that you use to log in. And password, obviously your computer password. I scroll down and I leave all of the default settings, but I check all of these boxes. And what this will do is it'll make your phone look more like your computer. If you don't check some of these boxes, it'll almost look like you have XP even if your computer's running 7. So this may be good if you have a slower internet connection. But if you want it to look exactly the same, go ahead and check all of these boxes under the Experience tab. Okay, I just want to show you guys that everything works fine, so I'm going to go ahead and log into my laptop. Okay, and it's going to show you guys some default gestures. I'm just going to close out of that. And Windows 7 Ultimate. Obviously that's not running on my phone, my computer, or my laptop is Windows 7 Ultimate. And this is what I was doing on my laptop. I was rendering a video with Camtasia. Actually, this current video right here, the screen capture side is what I'm rendering right now. But yeah, you're able to go into Start menu. Oops. It's kind of touchy because it's a small screen, but yeah, you're able to go into Start menu. We go over to Computer. Oh, I clicked Computer. Okay, and as you can see, let me go ahead and just zoom up for you guys. Okay, you can see my local disk. Let me go into that. Oh, I got to double click. And I have all my program files and whatnot. I can go ahead and close out of that. Oops. And this actually also works in landscape mode. It does work, because it's smaller, I can actually zoom up. Yeah, there we go. I can zoom. But yeah, if you look right here, I mean, I have everything is exact. This is my computer running right now. I mean, my internet, has all the Wi-Fi networks around here. And also, if you hit menu and you show mouse, you can actually use this to navigate the mouse around. Right click, okay, and you can move the mouse to where you want it, and left click. Okay, I'm not going to do any of that now. And then there's also a keyboard. So if you want to do like Control Alt, I don't know if there's delete on here, but there's function keys. So here's all the F6 and all that. Actually, there's delete. So look at, we can do Control Alt delete. And let me get out of the keyboard. And as you can see right here, let me go ahead and pinch to zoom it down. Let me go back into portrait mode. As you can see right here, when you do Control Alt delete, this is the options that you usually get. I know it looks a little bit different just because I'm on my phone, but yeah, lock this computer, log off. Everything's completely works 100%. You do not have to be on the same network because we're connecting via your IP address. So anywhere you go, you can leave your computer on, and you can be at school and say you want to look up a file. you're able to just load this up and it'll be really quick. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and feel free to subscribe and like and share. Thanks a lot.